Now, I know I am late to this type of video, which is who I think the UFC champions will be by the end of 2024, but I still wanted to give my predictions. So let's jump right into it. So we're going to start with the women's division. As you can see here, I got listed women's strawweight, women's flyweight, and women's bantamweight. Now, I know some of y'all might be thinking, where the hell is women's featherweight at? And to tell you the truth, I was looking at the UFC rankings to see who I would think would become champion. And women's featherweight does not exist. The rankings do not exist at all. And to be fair, I don't know any women's featherweight anymore. It was only Nunes and she retired, so I think they're going to scrap that whole division. Now, women's strawweight champion by the end of this year is easily, without a doubt, is Wei Li Zhang. In my opinion, she's the best women's fighter right now. She's running through that division. I mean, what she did to Esparza was criminal last year. And the same goes for what she did to Amanda Lemos. Now, I know she didn't finish her, but she completely obliterated her. And I think she's going to continue to do that within this division. Now, next up, women's flyweight. I'd actually regard this as one of my sleeper picks, because I don't think a lot of people would agree with me on this. But who I think is going to be champion by the end of the year in women's flyweight is Erin Blanchfield. She's beaten Talia Santos, Andrade, and she fraud-checked Molly McCain. Her grappling is insane. And I think that she is the best grappler in that division. Yes, I know Alexa Grasso still exists. And Valentina is still there and will always be there. But I just think that this is her time now. I just have a certain feeling that she'll get it done and win the belt towards the later end of the year. Now, women's bantamweight, I actually think the person that wins the belt tomorrow is going to keep the belt towards the end of the year, because I think women's bantamweight is one of the weakest divisions in the UFC period. It's so inconsistent, and it's kind of the snooze division in my opinion. I do not tune into women's bantamweight fights. I'm tired of seeing Holly Holm, but who I think would keep the belt is Mayra Bueno Silva. The reasoning is just that's what the vibes are telling me. And the reason I say that is because I'm a casual when it comes to women's bantamweight. I don't keep up with that division at all. So we're just going to leave it as it is. These three are going to hold the belt at the end of the year. Now, moving on to the actual important divisions. Nah, hold on. I'm just playing. I do not want to get canceled. I just started making videos. But let's get into it. Flyweight. Manel Based Cape. Manel Cape is a sleeper contender. He's just starting to get traction. And I kept up with some of his stuff when he was fighting for Ryzen. And Ryzen's a pretty competitive organization. They don't got complete cans in there. Obviously, they do got cans, but not all of them. And he managed to win the Bantamweight Championship in Ryzen. That does hold a lot of weight, in my opinion. And I do think by the summer, or should I say in the summer, I think he gets the title shot and he'll win the title shot. I know Pantoja is a nightmare matchup for anybody in that division, but I just feel like Pantoja leaves himself open a lot. We've seen this throughout his last fights. That iron chin he has saves him each time. But I think Cape could find that finishing shot, and I think he has the power to knock him out as well, or the ability to knock him out. Moving on to bantamweight, Corey Shaggy Sanhagen. This guy's a literal cartoon character, and he fights like a cartoon character. And I say that with the utmost respect. That's a compliment. Saying that you fight like a cartoon character is just me complimenting you, because that pretty much means that he be doing shit in the octagon I've never seen in real life. I only see in cartoons. I have him as a top 5 striker in the UFC, considering all divisions. Actually, I'll go so far to say top 5 striker in MMA as of now, right now. He has such crisp technique, crisp striking, crisp footwork. It's just a pleasure to watch this guy fight. And you cannot judge him off the last 2 wrestling clinics he put up, I'll be honest, I may have snoozed through that a little bit. His fight with Font, Chito Vera. But he still is an elite fighter. And that only proves that he belongs at the top. He's a well-rounded fighter. And he could get the job done, which is get that bantamweight belt. Now, how he matches up against O'Malley, that's one of my fantasy matchups. I want to see that matchup so bad. That would be a striking masterclass right there by both of them. I still think Sandhagen will come out on top. I think he would mix it in a lot better with his grappling, his striking, his footwork. I think he could beat him to decision. But I think the logical pathway to the belt for him would be, something is just telling me that he's going to have to fight Merab for the belt. That is a terrible matchup for anybody in that division. I could definitely see Sandhagen catching him as Merab comes in for a takedown. And I would love to see that so badly because Merab has just been violating my favorite fighters. What he did to Peter Yan, I need to see him get flatlined for that. I really do. Now, featherweight, it's a no-brainer. This is not going to be surprising to anybody. It's the overgrown rugby player, Volkanovski. He's just too dominant, man. Especially in featherweight, he's just way too dominant. But here's the thing. I think that he may either retire soon or he might just make the jump to lightweight soon. Now, if he were to do that in this year, say during the summer, which leaves September, October, November, December, during those months, I think Ilya could get the belt. Do I think Ilya beats him now? No. I don't think that he has the experience and the skills to beat Volkanovski yet. I think Volkanovski's just way too good. He's in his prime. I know he got knocked out by Makhachev, and it's going to be interesting to see how he comes back from that. But as of now, I still got Volkanovski as holding the featherweight belt. Next, lightweight. It's also a no-brainer. We'll just rush this one through. It's Mr. I only fight in Abu Dhabi, Islam Makhachev. Pound for pound, best in the world right now. I can't see a guy that's going to touch him. Pause. Unless he makes the jump to welterweight, I don't think nobody poses a threat to him at lightweight. Now, speaking of welterweight, this is going to be kind of interesting. Because a lot of people, I feel like, are not going to be surprised by my pick. But when I go through how this is going to play out, I think people would be surprised. Shavkat Rakhmonov is going to hold the belt. Now, the way this is going to happen, UFC 300 is going to be Leon versus Bilal. I'm pretty sure. I think Bilal beats him. Listen, I'm not on drugs. I'm not a schizophrenic. I genuinely think Bilal beats him. I thought Bilal was going to get flatlined by Luque. He was going to lose against Steven Thompson. I even thought Damian Maia was going to submit him, and none of those things happened. He goddamn beat Gilbert Burns. I know Gilbert Burns injured himself, but still, his resume is insane. I think he gets it done against Leon Edwards. Then, they make the matchup between him and Shavkat, either in the summer or in the fall of 2024. And then, Shavkat goes to work. 100% finish rate inside the octagon and outside of it. I think he gets that belt and holds it for a very long time. And next up for middleweight, I got Khamzat Chimaev. I know a lot of people have been saying that this guy's washed now, that he lost his aura, that he got fraud checked by two welterweights. I still feel like he has the tools to get the belt. He out-wrestled Usman. I know he was a welterweight coming off of, 10 days notice or something like that. But to out-wrestle a former pound-for-pound, it deserves some credit. I think Strickland gets it done against Duplessis. And Dana White's going to give Dana White privilege to Chimaev and give him the title shot. It would be an extremely dangerous fight for Strickland for the first 2 rounds. And if he makes it out to 2 rounds, Khamzat would be in trouble. But I don't think that'll be the case. I think Khamzat would submit Strickland. Now moving on to light heavyweight. It's also a lot of people's picks was what I've seen is Magomed Ankalaev. He's also such a well-rounded fighter. He could grapple. He could strike. He just knocked out Johnny Walker. I know that's not a big feat to accomplish because Johnny Walker has been getting knocked out by literally everybody and anybody. But Ankalaev has been showcasing that he belongs in the top 3, top 5. And he's continuing to get better and better. I think he's also a nightmare matchup for Pereira. Especially Pereira's grappling is average at best for that division. But I got my money on Ankalaev. Now finally, heavyweight. This I feel like is a no-brainer. Tom Aspinall, another extremely well-rounded for heavyweight, which is unheard of. The only other person that's as well-rounded are, as of now, are Stipe and John Jones. But they're both old men, and they're both going to retire after their fight. And that leaves Aspinall, and I think they'd put Cyril Gane up against them for the undisputed. I think Aspinall gets it done, and is going to rule over that division for as long as he wants, unless there's another heavyweight that comes that is as well-rounded as he is. But I can't see somebody like Blades give him trouble, or Jolton Almeida, just off their aggressive heavy wrestling. But other than that, I can't see anybody else beating Aspinall. But there you have it, guys. These were my predictions on who I think will hold the belt towards the end of the year.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?